of telehealth? In other words, do you have dentists that are doing telehealth in Ghana now? Thank you. Minister, what I'm saying is that you are aware that the telehealth, where doctors will be using telephone to treat patients. And I'm saying that is dental treatment part of the telehealth?
Yes,
and if so,
Honorable Minister.
And if so, can you name
you
a
ask
facility?
a simple question so that the minister can understand. Supplementary question doesn't allow you to ask convoluted questions. Okay, so you have posed your question. Let the minister
respond. Thank you, Mr.
respond.
Speaker. I'm guided. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the dental care is part of the telemedicine services we deliver in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May we know how many dental clinics, or specifically the dental clinics that are covered under this scheme?
Please file a specific question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in the minister's answer, paragraph 4, with your kind permission, I may read. That the ministry is therefore prioritizing the deployment of more dental professionals to underserved regions and revamping of the Unyado mobile dental clinics to deliver services to rural and hard to reach communities. Minister, I want to find out when the prioritization of the deployment of more professionals to these underserved regions will be concluded. And also,
please, you have asked a question.
Okay.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's ongoing. At the moment, we have prioritized the underserved communities or districts in this country when it comes to deployment of health professionals, because we have seen that the majority of health professionals are overly concentrated in the cities. So it's ongoing. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much once again, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Minister, the revamping of the Unyado mobile dental clinics to communities like my own, when will it be done, please?
But the minister said it is ongoing. So if you want to ask a specific question regarding your constituency, do so.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
This one is in relation to my constituency.
Yes. So you can file a specific question. Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Honorable Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've perused some statistics on oral health, and the findings are not the best. Minister, pursuant to your response and what I've captured from the statistics, it says that 84.9% of adults have never received dental care. My question then again is, what are you doing to ensure that oral health care is promoted? How do we ensure that people get some dental care? 84.9%.
Well, measures to promote.
Mr. Speaker, I believe it has to do with education. I believe that a lot of us do not know how important it is to take our oral hygiene seriously. And Mr. Speaker, I was amazed to hear from a professional, a medical doctor, that there is a particular, germ that can attack your heart from your mouth if you don't have a very good oral hygiene. And so, Mr. Speaker, I believe that it's partly ignorance, because there are people who take their routine checkups seriously, but they tend to ignore oral hygiene. And so we are going to intensify education on oral hygiene, starting from the schools. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Jerry Ahmed.
Speaker, I do not know if the ministry on its own has started any of these projects, including educating people. And if yes, what's the structure? How do you intend to come to a constituency like my constituency? Because this, I keep getting more revealing statistics, and I'm kind of worried. So,
File a constituency-specific question.
Speaker, I only linked it to my constituency. But
Honorable Kinsley.
So, Speaker, I can take my constituency out. Because I didn't even mention the name of my constituency as Wejagbawi. So I can take my constituency out for the minister to. So, Minister, my constituency is not the subject matter. So please, respectfully, if you can, apart from education, and I know you said that you are engaging, I'm asking what structures you have put in place so that it will be more comprehensive for people to be more engaged.
You are even worsening your case. You are
Speaker,
talking about structures.
Speaker, I'm in your bosom. Speaker, I'm in your bosom.
Please, Minister, you may answer the question.
Mr. Speaker, as I indicated in my response, we are putting together a comprehensive approach to deal with this matter, from the education bit from the schools through the media, information centers, and what have you. We are also looking at deploying enough professionals to the grounds, and we are also looking at equipping the health facilities to be able to deal with issues of oral hygiene, like increasing the number of dental chairs in our various health facilities. So it's a comprehensive package, Mr. Speaker, we are rolling out, especially with the introduction of the free primary health care. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Kinsley.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the Honorable Minister if the ministry would ensure the training of more dentists, because the 500 that he mentioned is woefully not enough. So if the ministry is thinking about ensuring that more of them are trained in the near future. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, it's part of the strategy. Thank you.
Members, let's move to question numbered 154, standing in the name of Honorable Dr. Kinsley Agyeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise again under 88.3 and with authority.
Please, you can ask all his questions.
Thank you. I rise to ask the Minister for Health what strategic plans the ministry has developed to sustainably finance public health emergency response in the face of dwindling donor support, especially in the light of the recent outbreaks, such as Mpox, CSM, and cholera. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to respond to the question by the Honorable Member for Abuakwa South on strategic plans the ministry has developed to sustainably finance public health emergency preparedness and response in the face of dwindling donor support, particularly in light of recent outbreaks such as Mpox, cerebrospinal meningitis, and cholera. Mr. Speaker, government recognizes that the country can no longer rely predominantly on external assistance to finance critical public health functions. In that regard, following the withdrawal of USAID last year, His Excellency the President took a bold and decisive step by instructing the Minister for Finance to ensure that adequate resources are made available to the Ministry of Health to sustain and deliver the essential services that had been supported through USAID. In addition, allocations have been provided for within the National Health Insurance Fund's allocation formula to support such priority public health activities and strengthen domestic financing for health security. Mr. Speaker, beyond these immediate domestic financing measures, the ministry's strategy for sustaining funding is anchored on 5 practical interventions. First, the ministry is ensuring that the prudent utilization of the pandemic fund grants. Ghana secured this grant through the World Bank in 2024 to strengthen surveillance, laboratory systems, and workforce development over the next 3 years. These investments are intended to reduce response costs over time by strengthening preparedness and the speed of detection and containment. Second, the ministry is integrating public health emergency preparedness and response more deliberately into the national budgeting and developing planning. This will ensure that core emergency preparedness activities are captured within the medium-term plans and annual budgets, rather than being treated as ad hoc expenditures only when outbreaks occur. Third, the ministry will continue to invest in preparedness measures, including stockpiling, capacity building, simulation exercises, and enhanced surveillance. Evidence shows that stronger preparedness shortens outbreak duration and reduces overall costs. Fourth, domestic resource mobilization is being strengthened through structured engagement with relevant public and private institutions to support specific response needs when the situation demands, including logistics, testing support, and other critical inputs. Fifth, the ministry will deepen collaboration with institutional and research laboratories, including the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, UHAS, KCCR, CSIR, and others to sustain testing capacity for priority diseases and reduce reliance on externally funded laboratory support. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, while donor support has played an important role over the years, government is taking deliberate steps to strengthen domestic financing and ensure continuity of essential public health services. I wish to assure the House that the ministry remains fully committed to building a resilient and sustainably financed public health emergency preparedness and response system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On paragraph 2, the minister sought to bring to our attention that the country can no longer rely predominantly on external assistance to finance critical public health. But if we go to the next page, where we have five main practical interventions, we have the pandemic fund grant from the World Bank. How are we winning ourselves from such funds so that in future they will not take it away from us and will be found wanting? Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, if I say we will not rely wholly on donor funding, what it means is that we have to take our own destiny into our hands. We must have a fallback plan. It must be a country-led, project or program, so that with or without foreign input, we'll be able to deal with emergencies in this country. Thank you.
Yes. We got no further questions, please. Thank you.
Very well. Members, let's move to question number 155, also standing in the name of Honorable Dr. Kinsley Agyeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Health to provide the claims amount for the year 2020 to 2023 and the types of claims for the respective years of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the Honorable Member for Abusua South for the question on national health insurance claims from 2020 to 2023, particularly the relationship between the claims expenditure and claims paid and what this implies for arrears. Mr. Speaker, claims expenditure represents the value of services claimed in a given year, while claims paid represent what is actually settled in that same year. where claims paid falls below claims expenditure, the unpaid balance becomes arrears. Where claims paid exceeds claims expenditure, it is typically because arrears from previous years are being cleared. Mr. Speaker, the claims paid over the period were as follows: 1.372 million in 2020, 1.1 in 2021, 963 in 2022, and 2.2 in 2023. This shows a decline in payment up to 2022, before a significant rebound in 2023. Mr. Speaker, I have given a table that speaks for itself. And so, for example, Mr. Speaker, we have the year, claims expenditure, claims paid, portion of the payment relating to that year, and portions of payment relating to previous years. So the honorable member may follow it carefully. So, Mr. Speaker, in 2020, whilst the claim expenditure was 1 billion in 2020, Mr. Speaker, about 1.3 billion was paid. But, Mr. Speaker, only 473 million was respect to 2020, the rest were arrears. I hope Mr. Speaker is following. Good. Mr. Speaker, so we'll move to 2021. Mr. Speaker, when you go to 2021, whilst the claims expenditure is about 1.1 billion, claims paid is also 1.1 billion, but Mr. Speaker, claims relating to 2021 that was paid was 469 million. What does it mean? It means we're piling up arrears. Mr. Speaker, in 2022, the claims payment was 1.6 billion. Amount paid was 963. Out of the 963 that was paid, only 328 million was with respect to 2022. What it means was that we were piling arrears. Mr. Speaker, again, when we came to 2023, it was 1.8, and then 2.2 was paid, and the proportion with respect to 2023 was 1.1, whilst the rest was the arrears. So, Mr. Speaker, over the years, we've been piling up arrears, and this is what we are doing differently. Mr. Speaker, now the narrative is different. We are no more piling arrears. We are paying on time. We are paying promptly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for the analysis. While you attempted to attribute the non-payment or the arrears, you failed to recognize the fact that in 2020, the claims expenditure was 1 billion, and amount paid is 1.3 billion, which recognizes the fact that there were prior year, there were arrears. No doubt about that. 2021, 1.1 billion, and claims paid 1.1. So I just want you to, or I want the House to recognize the fact that in 2020,
Honorable Member, you are violating Order 88.7A.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The question is, Honorable Minister, in 2025, can you tell this House, I understand, please, in 2025 year, can you tell this House that the payment that was made in respect of claims by the National Health Insurance Authority did not include
Question
arrests?
overruled. Yes.
A while ago, you referenced 88.7A, and you admonished the member. But yes, the interpretation of the rules is in your bosom. But where the minister has provided answers, and the member is making a follow-up based on the answers given by the minister. So, would that constitute
Tell
the
me
member
which
addressing?
part of the minister's answer that indicated he has failed to do ABCD.
Well, Speaker, but
And you've heard that directly from the member.
yes, Speaker.
Is that from the answer?
Speaker, in this house, you guide us. But I'm
Yes.
saying, but not.
So I listened carefully to the member, the tangent that he was going before overruling him.
Yes, Speaker. So would you kindly grant him the opportunity to reframe his question then?
But if he has the opportunity to reframe, he would have done that.
Yes,
He
Speaker.
asked another supplementary question,
There are instances.
which I again overruled because the question is talking about a particular year up to 2023, but his question is on 2025.
I was trying to guide my colleague, just signaling him what he should do so that he can live within the provisions of Order 88.7a. I implore you, Speaker, with respect, to grant him the opportunity to reframe his follow-up.
Yes?
Yes.
He can, if you want to reframe within the ambit of the question, I have no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Minister, with reference to the table, can you tell this House the best practice in terms of claims payment, whether or not every claim is paid within the month is submitted, or there'll be lapses in terms of months before they are paid?
Members, let's take a look at the question. To ask the Minister for Health to provide the claim amount for the year 2020 to 2023 and the types of claims for the respective years of the National Health Insurance Scheme. This was the question. So the Minister has provided you with the details, and you are asking for monthly. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the guidance. But Minister, in answering the question, brought the element of arrears in his answer. So I just want to know from him, with international practice, is that the case that all claims are paid in the month they are submitted, or not that? So that we'll know, because you mentioned arrears. So I think that's a valid question.
Well, I do not see the main question talking about the manner of payment. You are to provide the claim that has been paid within the period. Yes, do you have a supplementary question?
Yes, I do.
Please.
If you are. So, Mr. Speaker, the minister in his response in page 43 states, and I quote, in 2025, claims processing and payment as related to the point that payment were made faster than the 3-month window stipulated under the NHIS Act. In the same year, a total of 2,688 million was paid to service providers, in addition to the transfer of 1.5 billion to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Mr. Speaker, my question is, what were the total arrears as of 2020, accumulated, or payment claims accumulated in 2025, of which 2 billion was paid? I want to know the claims that were accumulated for that year, of which...
Question overruled.
Mr. Speaker.
The question is between the period 2020 and 2025. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, with respect, the question demanded answers for claim payment between 2020 and 2023. Mr. Speaker, I'm fortified by the rules that requires of me to ask supplementary question based on the answer given by the minister. Mr. Speaker, I therefore proceed to ask...
There is a proviso...
Which is, Mr. Speaker?
...that people normally forget. If you have the rules book, you can take the entire House to Standing Order 89.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
Which is on...
Mr. Speaker, we are,
yes,
I'm happy to do that.
there is a proviso. But...
Mr. Speaker...
There is but.
Mr. Speaker, please, you've given a guide. Let me read it aloud. Mr. Speaker, Standing Order 89. It is supplementary question. Supplementary question. That is the title of that. 8.1, quote, as soon as a question is answered, any member, beginning with the member who asked the question, may, without notice, ask a supplementary question for further clarification of any matter of fact on the answer, but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Yes.
Right.
So that is why I'm drawing your attention
Mr.
to the
Speaker,
fact
worry
that
not. I think
there is a
Mr. Speaker, worry not. Mr.
Yes.
Speaker,
yes.
To the extent that the supplementary question is squarely within the ambit of the answer provided, Mr. Speaker, with respect, I cannot ask a supplementary question outside of the answer. So, Mr. Speaker, if a question is asked for 2020 to 2023, and the minister in his own answer decides to go outside of the 2020-2023 to now give further information, Mr. Speaker, any supplementary question anchored in that will be well placed within 89. Mr. Speaker, well, you are setting the rules.
If you read further, I'm not setting the rules.
Mr. Speaker, that is what it means.
If you read further,
yes,
you're saying that, but a supplementary question must not introduce.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, please allow.
That's why
Mr.
in
Speaker,
interpretation, you read the provision as a whole.
Mr. Speaker, you are presiding. Can you put the question? Let me answer you. Mr. Speaker, indeed, you read the provision as a whole. You cannot be disjointed. But, Mr. Speaker, we will also be creating problems if we say that the supplementary question, which would ordinarily depend on what answer the minister has given, there cannot be any supplementary question unless there's an answer. Mr. Speaker, if the minister introduces a matter of fact in his answer, there must be an interrogation there too. Mr. Speaker, a member of parliament cannot be restrained merely because the supplementary question may appear to introduce a new matter. Mr. Speaker, then we cannot have a supplementary question in this chamber.
Well,
by the way, let me ask my supplementary question.
The rule is to guide all of us. You are introducing an issue of interpretation. So let me hear Majority Leader before you come and ask your supplementary. Yes.
Well,
yeah, Mr. Speaker, I am tempted to side with the Minority Leader's view of the provisions of the relevant standing order. If a member should ask the Minister for Health, can you tell me the cause of malaria? And the Minister, in answering the question, says, the cause of malaria is XYZ. It is similar to the cause of diabetes. It is similar to the cause of, heart attack. It's similar to the cause of etc. The minister has veered off from the specific question, but in answering has provided new facts and issues. And so any member can then follow up and ask you, you spoke about malaria. You spoke about diabetes. So I have a follow-up question on that. Whatever you stand here and say, once you introduce a new fact, a member becomes entitled to ask you for further clarification regarding the fact that you have introduced. That's why ministers must be careful in answering questions and focus on the specifics of the question and not veer off, because once you veer off, you open yourself up to a lot of follow-up questions. You may provide the answer for the main question, but then you leave room to be taken on other matters that you ought not to have spoken about. And so, Mr. Speaker, I do agree that if the minister answered questions and added new facts, yes.
I beg to differ in the sense that the rules are clear and guide questions and supplementary questions. But there is no rule that guides the ministers the kind of answers that they should give. That is why this particular rule is saying that as soon as a question is answered, any member beginning with the member who asks the question may, without notice, ask supplementary question for further clarification of any matter of fact on the answer, but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question. So, therefore, though the minister is not guided as to how to provide an answer to the question, this but is guiding you to ask the supplementary question within the question. So, the meaning that I gathered from the use of but here is admonishing you that but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question. So the understanding here is that the fact that the minister deviated does not mean you can ask a question on cholera and be asking a supplementary question on diabetes.
Mr. Speaker, you see, it says, as soon as a question is answered, any member beginning with the member who asked the question may, without notice, ask a supplementary question for further clarification of any matter of fact on the answer.
Yes.
Any matter of fact on the answer. But not the question.
No.
Not the question.
But
yes.
But
so, yes, I agree with you.
A supplementary question.
But a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Not included in original question. Not the answer. Not the answer. Not included in original question.
But the minister can give fact. But your question should not introduce. So you don't have that right.
See, not the answer.
But you don't have that right. That's what he says.
But a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
But Mr. Speaker,
that's why we need to interpret the provision as a whole.
Yes.
That's why we need to take cognizance of the fact that ministers are not guided on the kind of answer that they should bring, but the rules provide a guide on asking a supplementary question.
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Except to say that it appears to me that the rule makes provision for two issues to be dealt with.
No.
One, if you provide an answer outside the framework of the question, you open yourself up.
No.
You open yourself up.
The rule is saying.
you open yourself up, but then also, but then also, if
Yes.
I believe that there's no mischief here. Because a supplementary question with the reading of the provision in whole emanates from the answers given. No. A supplementary question will emanate from the answers given to a substantive question. That is why sometimes a member may not ask a supplementary question because he's satisfied with the answers given. So that's the purpose for this provision. Now, the introduction of but a member may not ask a question, not introduce. So let me read it. That is 89.1. But a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question. Serves no purpose at all. It serves no purpose at all because.
Well, it is part of the provisions, and we are saying it serves no purpose.
Mr. Speaker, but it serves no purpose because a supplementary question will emanate from the answers provided. So, to the extent that the member's supplementary question finds a basis in the answer provided, I believe that we may permit him. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member,
Yes.
what you are saying
Yes.
serves no purpose. Does it form part of the rules?
Mr. Speaker, it does. It does. But
So
I'm saying that
why would it form part of the rules yet will not serve any purpose?
because when you ask a question, a supplementary question,
Well,
the basis of Mr. Speaker.
probably
Speaker.
you may ask that the rules should be amended. But so
Mr.
long
Speaker,
as
Mr.
I
Speaker,
am
if
concerned,
you may hear
once
me.
it is part of the rules, I will place interpretation on it. I won't say it serves no purpose.
Mr. Speaker, if you may hear me, if you may let me land.
Roxy, you know that you must pass through the text to the purpose.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course. And I'm saying that reading this provision, not just 89.1 alone, but if you read 89.1, 2, and 3, that latter day provision is dangling. It's a dangling modifier. It doesn't qualify. It doesn't provide any relevance. Now, we can only be saying that the supplementary question has no basis in the answer provided. But once the member is able to point to the fact that, as part of the answer provided and advertised, there's a basis for it to ask. Mr. Speaker, then I believe that you may grant him. That's my opinion on the matter.
Well, I beg to differ. I'm looking at the text of the law.
Mr. Speaker, I think you are right. If you read Order 89.
But allow him to freely speak his mind. Honorable Habib. Yes, Sule.
Mr. Speaker, for me, I think this house, we learn from each other and we are allowed to speak our mind. What has just happened, if you ask me,
No,
is,
you contribute to the issue of interpretation.
I want to finish with this when I come to the interpretation. Because the deputy, the deputy wants to speak, and the minority leader is asking him not to speak. That, for me, is an infringement on his rights. And so he should be allowed to speak.
Please,
let's hear you. It's important to hear you.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, my contribution is this. Two very important issues. One,
The right to speak in this house is voluntary.
yes, but
So
you
you
shouldn't
don't
gag
compel anybody to.
You are a man on your own. You shouldn't gag you. Mr. Speaker, I think that for me, we are all learning. I've been here for some time now. And so when questions are asked, and but I was one of those who was always asking questions and going around the questions, be able to scrutinize and to ask for accountability. And so when questions are asked and we provide information in our quest to answer the questions, and we veer off and bring in other matters, it makes it possible for the person who has filed the question to want to ask to elucidate for more information. And so, yes, they are here today, even though we won't be there anytime soon, but it's a possibility. And so I think that if the minister has the information to provide, he should be given the opportunity to provide, because at the end of the day, it amounts to accountability, and which this House is supposed to do. And finally, I also want to appeal to my brothers on the other side. You are not many, and you have no any other business except to come here, but you are only 10 people. You shouldn't be paid. In our case, some of us are ministers and deputy ministers.
Honorable Sule, you are completely out of order.
Yes, Speaker, I'm grateful.
You are completely out of order. Honorable members, I agree perfectly with you that when ministers are asked questions, honorable members, I agree with you that when ministers are asked questions, they should limit themselves to the answer to the question. But my disagreement is that because the minister erred in going outside the question, the supplementary question must also go outside, is what I have a problem with reading Standing Order 89. Reading Standing Order 89. Yes, your supplementary question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm of the opinion that in this chamber, we transact public business and act in the national interest. Any interpretation of our rules that result in absurdity must be avoided, and I so submit that the rules are very clear that when there's a need for clarity, you have to proceed to ask the question based on the answer. Mr. Speaker,
well,
that said...
Well, with that said, I also beg to differ.
No problem,
and,
Mr. Speaker, you are
I
presiding.
take a great exception that my interpretation resulted into absurdity.
Mr. Speaker, don't misquote me. I've not said
rules,
I said if there is...
The rules...
Mr. Speaker, please hold on a second.
Hear me out.
Mr. Speaker, because you said something which is wrong.
Standing Order 124.
We should avoid...
Will you observe Standing Order 124?
Which is?
You see...
Mr. Speaker, don't get me wrong. When you are misquoting me to make a position,
you see,
I said we should avoid. That is my submission. And
normally, the rules are clear.
We should avoid.
When the rules are interpreted and you disagree, what you do is also clear within the law.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't get the impression that you have ruled, but let's proceed. Mr. Speaker, I proceed to ask the minister, based on second and third paragraphs of his answer at page 43, quote, Speaker, the current government is committed to restoring payment discipline and improving claims management so that annual expenditure is more consistently matched by payment. Arrears are prevented from building up, and providers can deliver services to NHIS members without disruption. Mr. Speaker, this commitment is already being reflected in improved payment performance. In 2025, claims processing and payment accelerated to the point that payments were made faster than the 3-month window stipulated under the NHIS Act. Mr. Speaker, based on these, I want to ask the Honorable Minister whether this answer suggests that 2025 payment claims have been paid to date.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, as far as I know, all claims that have been submitted to the National Health Insurance Authority without issues have been settled. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the minister goes further to say, in the same year, a total of 2,688,600,000 Ghana cedi was paid to service providers in addition to the transfer of 1.5 billion to Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Mr. Speaker, question. The 2,600,000, is it billion or so? Mr. Speaker, the minister off record is saying that that is in error because that was where I was coming to. So can he, with your leave, correct the error so that I can properly situate my question?
Ask your question.
Mr. Speaker.
Professor.
Very well. Very well. Mr. Speaker, that's fine. Mr. Speaker, the minister claims that there is a 2,688,600,000 million as total claims paid to service providers. Is that correct? The figure?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the amount stated as read by the Honourable Minority Leader should actually be in billions and not in millions. Thank you.
Very well.
Now, Mr. Speaker, with that factual error having been corrected, upon my prompting, can the minister then confirm whether the amount he uses the phrase in the same year, whether the total amount of 2.6 billion plus includes the 2025 financial year that is made reference to, or it is only for the 2025 financial year claims? I'll take it again. You continued 43. I'm taking you back to your answer, 43. In the same year, a total of 2.6 billion was paid to service providers in addition to the transfer of 1.5 billion to Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Now, my first question is the 2.6 billion payment. You say in the same year. There's some ambiguity, so I want clarification. Is it for the payment that you made for that particular year only, or it is for the entire period up to the end of 2025 financial year?
Mr. Speaker, it included the arrears we came to meet. Thank you.
Speaker, my final question. Honorable Minister, you've also indicated that there was an additional 1.5 billion cedis to Ghana Medical Trust Fund. May I know from you whether this 1.5 billion Ghana cedis covered the entire allocation for the Ghana Medical Trust Fund for the financial year 2025?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, per the 2025 National Health Insurance formula, there was a clear allocation of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to Mahama Cares, and that was what was released to them for the 2025 fiscal year. Thank you.
Well, let's move to question number 554, standing in the name of Honorable Alexander Kwasi Akwa. Yes.
Speaker, thank you very much. I have the permission and authority of Honorable Akwesi-Akwa to ask. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Health the current state of healthcare infrastructure in Ghana and what plans are in place to improve the conditions of health facilities, particularly in undeserved areas. Sorry, underserved areas. Underserved areas. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honorable member for Akemoda for the question on the current state of healthcare infrastructure and the plans in place to improve conditions, particularly in underserved areas. Mr. Speaker, government remains committed to improving access to quality healthcare through stronger health infrastructure and reliable essential medical equipment across the country, with particular attention to underserved areas. While investment over the years have expanded the network of facilities, infrastructure gaps and maintenance backlog remain and can affect efficiency, patient safety, and quality of service delivery. To address this in a structured manner, the Ministry has developed the Health Infrastructure Strategic Plan and the Ghana Health Infrastructure Strategy 2025 to 2029 to guide priority expansion, rehabilitation, and upgrading interventions subject to availability of physical space. In practical terms, an equipment retooling program is underway to replace obsolete and non-functional equipment nationwide. Under this program, the dialysis machines initiative has been prioritized and is currently at the tendering stage to expand access to dialysis services and improve the management of renal conditions. Maintenance culture is also being strengthened. Health service agencies, including the Ghana Health Service and teaching hospitals facilities, have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their internally generated funds towards maintenance and the replacement of equipment to reduce avoidable breakdowns and preserve functionality. In addition, urgent gaps in life-saving equipment are being addressed through targeted support to facilities with immediate needs. This includes the provision of equipment to facilities such as Afenyo Hospital and the Tamale Teaching Hospitals, among others, as well as the supply of anesthesia machines to various hospitals to stabilize critical services, whilst broader retooling and upgrading measures take effect. Mr. Speaker, these measures demonstrate government's practical commitment to improving infrastructure conditions and ensuring that health facilities are adequately equipped to deliver quality services to the people of Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister, he reiterated issues of maintenance, basically the maintenance culture. As he averted his mind to some facilities, especially in Kolebu and Konfanoche, and what are we doing to ensure that they have the best of maintenance?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a policy directive to that effect. The Speaker, what we have realized in this country is that when government buy equipment to these health facilities, within a particular number of years, when these equipment are faulty or obsolete, they still require government to bring money for the maintenance of this equipment or for even the replacement of this equipment. Mr. Speaker, we have found that this approach is not sustainable. And so, one, we are charging all health facilities to ring-fence money, especially generated by the same equipment, for their maintenance or replacement. That is one. Mr. Speaker, we are also inviting the private sector in, what we call hospital equipment placement, and if you like PPP, where private members are invited to these health facilities, put their equipment there, they maintain the equipment themselves, and they are paid according to usage. Mr. Speaker, another approach is also we are considering how we can separate the management of this hospital equipment from the management of the hospitals, so that we'll have attention on, routine maintenance of the equipment and even replacing them as and when necessary. Mr. Speaker, retooling of hospital equipment is a very important or integral part of a health facility. Without the appropriate hospital equipment, you can do very less when it comes to taking care of patients in our health facilities. Thank you.
No.
Yes.
You do that one. Yes, don't let me go. Mr. Speaker,
It's important. No, but let's finish this.
one of the key features, Mr. Speaker, one of the key features of underserved areas is shortage of health professionals. But you were talking about underserved areas, and I'm saying that one of the key characteristics of underserved areas is shortage of health professionals. And we're also very minded about a lot of nurses who are still sitting at home. I want to find out from the minister.
Honorable, I just want to remind you that the question is on the current state of health infrastructure.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the minister, with reference to health infrastructure, are you considering moving beyond only the 10 of the Agenda 11 projects that you intended completing within this period, 2026 financial year?
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, the question is the current state of health infrastructure. So if the facility is not constructed, can it be talking about the current state of health infrastructure in terms of that?
Mr. Speaker, I'm at a loss whether or not a project which is a health facility, and we have stages of construction and usage, cannot be termed as a health infrastructure. Is it the case that Mr. Speaker is saying that an Agenda 11 project which is about 98%?
Well,
it's not a health
if you want
infrastructure.
to ask a question about Agenda 111, which is 98%, you could ask the question and the minister will prepare to come and answer. You see, one thing that the rule seeks to do is to avoid element of surprise. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the minister that the budgeted 10 million Ghana cedi that the minister responsible for finance budgeted for the completion of the Agenda 11, are they part of the health infrastructure? Are they part of the health infrastructure that you have answered to?
Your question is overruled. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, this one not directly to the question. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Alhaji Yusuf, he made a very statement that, Mr. Speaker, I want you to order for it to be expunged from the record. He said that we were 10 on our side and we were never 10. So that should be expunged. And he also said I was not a man of No, Mr. Speaker, we were never 10, so it should be a sponge, Mr.
Honorable.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that part should be a
That's
sponge.
what that one the record will show, so don't worry about it.
No, but Mr. Speaker, the record will show what? Mr. Speaker, just count out here. We are more than 10 here, so it cannot be a statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, it cannot. Mr. Speaker, we are more than 10 here, so it cannot be a statement of fact. So it should be a sponge. Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
we don't want to.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think that the record should reflect exactly what happened here. We don't know the number at that time. According to somebody who counted, they were 10. They were 10. But now I think they are 13. I think now they are 13. But Mr. Speaker, I agree with him that it should be withdrawn. It should be withdrawn so that we will continue proceeding. So it should be withdrawn, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my good brother, Honorable Habib, has raised an issue that has to do with their attendance. And we don't want anybody to raise any quorum. We want government business to continue. And I know that you people are committed in ensuring that government business continues. And so, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that statement. I withdraw that statement. And in fact, if you want, I will apologize. And to say that you are more than 10, as we sit now, you are 11. So let's continue.
Yes, Honorable Kinsley Nyanku.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for indulging me. And for the records, our friends opposite us are less than 30. They are less than 30. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the minister if the ministry and the minister will be intentional in providing financial support to actualize the Ghana Health Infrastructure Strategy 2025-2029. Because in your response, you said that they will be activated when you have fiscal space. But I'm asking if you'll be intentional in finding resources to actualize the strategy. Thank you.
Well, you may answer for whatever it's worth.
Mr. Speaker, my response to this question is that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has made an emphatic statement that he's not going to abandon any ongoing or already abandoned projects. So, Mr. Speaker, we have comprehensive programs to make sure all these projects are completed. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had wanted to talk to my senior Honorable Akando offline, but since the NDC members are 19, I just want to say it here so that they will hear on TV. On paragraph 3 of your answer, paragraph 3 of your answer, Mr. Speaker, if you allow, I just want to quote, under this program, the dialysis machine initiative has been prioritized and is currently under the tendering stage to expand access to dialysis service and improve the management of renal conditions. End of quote. Since, Honorable Minister, since you've mentioned the fact that the process at the tendering stage, can you educate this House or give that information to this House, whether or not the procurement method you're using is international, national competitive, or single source? Thank you.
Question overruled.
Mr. Speaker,
yes,
thank
you have the floor. Boama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the minister indicated that that is paragraph 5 of his answer. The maintenance health service agencies, including Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities, have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their internally generated funds towards maintenance. I would like to find out from the minister, since this directive was given, what has been the status of allocating 10% to? What has been the status of the hospitals and the teaching hospitals making that allocation to do maintenance for the hospitals? Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this directive is a very new one. It was issued early this year, and we are following up to its implementation.
Honourable members, let's move to question number 555, standing in the name of Alexander Akwesi Akwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Health what plans the Ministry has to address the issue of poor maintenance culture in healthcare facilities and ensure that they are equipped to provide quality healthcare services. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the Honourable Member for Akim Oda for the question on the Minister's plans to address poor maintenance culture in health facilities and ensure that facilities are adequately equipped to deliver quality healthcare services. The Ministry of Health recognizes that sustainable healthcare infrastructure and reliable medical equipment depend on strong maintenance culture, effective asset management, and timely replacement of obsolete equipment. In response to observed weaknesses in routine and planned preventive maintenance in some facilities, deliberate steps are being implemented. These include strengthening maintenance governance through sector-wide maintenance policies and standards, supported by an equipment policy that provides clear guidelines for servicing, upkeep, and replacement. An asset management and maintenance system is also being implemented to improve planning, tracking, and accountability, and to shift facilities from an ad hoc repairs to planned preventive maintenance. Capacity is being strengthened through sensitization and targeted training of facility managers on planned preventive and routine maintenance. In addition, all health service agencies, including the Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities, have been instructed to allocate a fixed percentage of their internally generated funds towards maintenance to ensure predictable financing and reduce avoidable breakdowns. Mr. Speaker, maintenance has also been strengthened through regulation and oversight. In particular, maintenance is now a key metric in assessment conducted by the Health Facility Regulatory Agency, so that routine inspections and licensing processes take account of infrastructure condition, equipment functionality, and adherence to maintenance plans. Mr. Speaker, these measures are intended to institutionalize regular maintenance and keep facilities safe, functional, and properly equipped for quality service delivery. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I have one supplementary question. Does the Ministry have any plan in outsourcing some of this maintenance jobs to other private people who could readily be available to maintain our equipment?
Yes. Can they be available, leader?
Mr. Speaker, the majority side must know that their front bench must not be empty at all times. There's nobody there, it's empty.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the observation from the Honourable Member is accurate. It's in our contemplation.
Honourable members, let's move to question number 251. You need to get up early because I look around. There was nobody thereafter. Yes.
I'm very sorry, sir. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the minister's answer to 10% of IGF, in his first answer, he said, Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their IGF. In the next question too, he says they've been instructed to allocate a fixed percentage of their IGF. I want to find out from the minister, what is the actual percentage?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, not less than 10%.
Question number 251, standing in the name of Honorable Mavis Kukwa Bisi. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Health the status of the Western Regional Hospital project at Apmenim, which was awarded to Amandi Construction under the MPP government, and the measures being taken to ensure its timely completion. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for Hunter West for the question on the status of the Western Regional Hospital project at Apmenim and the measures being taken to commence works and ensure timely completion. Mr. Speaker, the project was affected by the domestic debt exchange program in 2022, which disrupted financing for externally funded infrastructure projects. Consequently, work stalled in 2023, and both the Apmenim project and the Fiankwanta redevelopment remained pending debt restructuring and the renewal of financial agreement with the relevant export credit agencies. Mr. Speaker, government is actively working to conclude the restructuring and renew the financial framework, after which the Apmenim Hospital project will be placed back on track for completion to ease pressure on existing facilities in the Western region. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
No supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, members, let's move to question number 265, standing in the name of Honorable Emmanuel Tobin.
Mr. Speaker, I have the permission and authority from Honorable Emmanuel Tobin to ask the question on his behalf.
Yes, do.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Health the status of the Agenda 111 District Hospital in the Anya Soutuum constituency in the Ga Central Municipality. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the Honourable Member for Anyaso for the question on the current status of Agenda 111 District Hospitals project in the Anyaso constituency within the Ga Central Municipality. Mr. Speaker, with respect to the completion arrangement, the Ministry of Finance, by correspondence dated 13th February 2025, formally notified the Ministry of Health to incorporate the Agenda 111 project into its budget proposal for 2025 and beyond. And the ministry has accordingly captured the Agenda 111 program in its 2025 budget. Further to this, following handover directive from the presidency, the ministry has taken charge of the Agenda 111 project. Following the handover, the ministry engaged the management from AESL to undertake a special audit assignment, and the report has been submitted. In due course, the ministry will finalize a strategic implementation plan for Agenda 111 and engage the Ministry of Finance for the necessary guidance and support towards dedicated budgetary allocation. The ministry will also explore complementary financing options, including support from private partners who may be interested in assisting to complete these important projects. Mr. Speaker, the ministry remains committed to working closely with all stakeholders to ensure the timely and successful delivery of district hospitals for the people of Afenyo-Markin and the wider GA Central Municipality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rest my case.
Honourable members, question time is ended. On your behalf, I sincerely thank the Minister responsible for health for attending upon the House to respond to scheduled questions. Once again, thank you for coming. You are accordingly discharged. Honourable members, by the agreement of the House, we are moving to statements. The first statement is by the Young Parliamentarians Forum. You have the floor. Honourable members, if they are not here, I would direct that the statement be published in the Hansard. Yes?
Speaker, I believe that the next in line is the minority chief whip. So we'll take it in that order.
Well, I will do it in the order that it appears in the order paper. So I will direct that the statement numbered A be published in the Hansard. As we take B, it stands in the name of Honorable Frank Anon Dompre, Member of Parliament for Nsauma Dojiri. You have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to speak on a call for legislation on ECOSED in Ghana. The Speaker, I rise today with a profound sense of urgency and responsibility to speak on a matter that transcends partisan politics, economic growth, and short-term development agenda. I speak to the need for legislative action against ECOSED, the mass destruction of ecosystems, and for Ghana to align itself with the growing global movement to make environmental devastation a punishable crime, both domestically and internationally. Mr. Speaker, ECOSED is defined by an independent expert panel convened by Stop ECOSED International, and I quote, "Unlawful or wanton acts of committed with knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment," and unquote. This is not abstract rhetoric. It is a legal concept with measurable criteria. Damage that is severe, widespread, or long-term. It goes far beyond regulatory fines or administrative sanctions. It is about criminal accountability for decisions and actions that destroy the very foundation of life and livelihood. Speaker, the current legal framework in international law, notably the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court, lists genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and aggression. ECOSED is not yet recognized as a standalone international crime during peacetime, even though environmental destruction today causes consequences on par with the gravest human rights abuses. Speaker, this absence in international law creates a legal vacuum, Corporations, state actors, and individuals can commit ecological destruction, deforestation, industrial pollution, oil spills, and climate amplifying activities with limited criminal liability. This is not just a theoretical concern. The Nigerian Niger Delta, for example, has suffered over 7,000 oil spills from 1970 to 2000. Devastating water, soil, and human health, and with full environmental restoration estimated to take decades. Such destruction is paradigmatic of ecocide. Globally, however, momentum is building to fill this void. At least 11 countries have already incorporated ecocide into their domestic law, including Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Ecuador, Chile, France, and Belgium. Speaker, in 2023, Belgium became the first European Union country to criminalize ecocide as part of its penal code revisions, demonstrating a political will to hold those who cause severe ecological harm to account. Across the world, Brazil, Mexico, the Netherlands, Italy, Argentina, France, Polynesia, India, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Peru, who are advancing legislative proposals aimed at similar goals. This is not merely environmental law. It is justice law, recognizing ecocide as a crime, embeds a moral framework into legal systems. As noted by legal scholars and advocates, criminalization signals a societal consensus, and destroying ecosystems is morally and legally unacceptable, similar to how criminal law treats thefts or harm to persons. In Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo publicly endorsed ecocide as an international crime at the 2024 UN Biodiversity Conference, joining the calls from the Pacific states like Fiji, Vanuatu, and Samoa to strengthen the environmental protection through criminal law. Speaker, why should Ghana act now? Ecological boundary crossing. As a country affected by deforestation, illegal mining, galamsey, and water pollution, Ghana's ecosystem are under severe stress. Recent reports indicate that up to 60% of our water bodies have suffered pollution due to illegal mining, a form of uncontrolled environmental degradation that threatens health, agriculture, and future prosperity. The Speaker, moral responsibility. Environmental stability is foundational to food security, human health, and sustained economic development. The consequences of ecological damage are anti-generational. They affect our children, their livelihoods, and their right to healthy environment. Criminalizing ecocide affirms our collective duty of care towards our nature and future generations. By legislating ecocide as a crime, Ghana can position itself as a leader in environmental justice in Africa, much like the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Belgium on their respective continent, showing that environmental protection is inseparable from human rights, climate justice, and sustainable development. So in conclusion, we must pass a domestic ecocide law, introduce a standalone legal provision defining and criminalizing ecocide with clear thresholds for severity, duration, and impact, model on the Stop Ecocide International definition, align with international law, advocates at the Assembly of States, parties of the International Criminal Court to include ecocide as the 5th international crime, thereby enabling prosecution of the most severe environmental harms globally. Ghana has an opportunity to be a regional and continental leader, championing ecocide law to protect not only Ghana, but other African Environmental Ministerial Conference on Environment and other African Union, strengthen enforcement mechanisms, empower Ghana's environmental protection agencies and judiciary with investigative authority, evidence standards, and prosecutorial capacity to ensure accountability, penal sanctions and remedies, ensure penalties are proportionate and deterrent, including custodial sentences as well as financial penalties for individuals and corporations, and mandatory environmental restoration orders. Speaker, protecting our ecosystems is not an optional policy. It is a fundamental commitment to future generations, to human dignity, and to the harmony between economic development and environmental stewardship. Let us give meaning to that commitment by making ecocide a crime and Ghanaian law by supporting its recognition under international law. I recommend the government in proposing the creation of a national crime of ecocide as part of the proposal made by the Constitutional Review Committee from electoral democracy to developmental democracy, and urge a swift progression in the creation of national ecocide legislation to protect our economy now and into the future. Speaker, I thank you and I'm grateful.
Thank you. Honourable members, any guidance to the number of comments that we will take on each statement? We have about 12 statements for today.
I am trying to reach agreement with my brother. That's his statement. So given the number of statements we have, we want to agree that we take 1-1 plus leadership. So that makes it 4. That makes it 4. It's such a major statement, I agree. But if we take 4 contributors each, then we have a lot of statements to cover. Speaker.
Yeah, the statements are about 12.
Yes. Okay.
Very well. If that is the agreement of the House, I will then open the floor.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It is not an agreement of the House. It is a recommendation from him.
Very well. What do you say to it?
I don't, because I'm involved, I don't want to hazard any guess. But clearly, if you see colleagues who are 2-2 should be okay. I think 2 should be okay. That's my humble view.
Yes, that's what he's saying. But that 2-2 should include leadership. So 4 comments on 1 statement. Yes, in order of seniority, I'll give the floor to Honorable Charles Agbebe.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for recognizing my seniority. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to commend the maker of the statement. Ever since I joined Parliament, he's been very consistent in making statements on the environment. In fact, he's been consistent, he's been persistent and passionate about statements on environment. Ecocide is definitely a crime. By its own definition, mass destruction of the ecosystem. Unfortunately, only 11 countries have passed a domestic law on ecocide. And in Africa, only 1. That's Democratic Republic of Congo. It even tells you that the world, or the countries in the world, are not taking issues of the environment seriously. Criminalizing ecocide is very, very critical because we have laws already that punishes people who infringe on the ecosystem or the environment. But I think making a law on ecocide will further strengthen and deter people from destroying the ecosystem or the environment. Mr. Speaker, ecocide, as researched and well written by the maker of the statement, helps us to criminalize destruction of the environment. And in doing so, we will position Ghana with Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa as the countries leading this charge. And it's very important for me because we have challenges in Ghana: sand winning, plastic waste, galamsey, pollution of the water bodies. It's important for us to show commitment and seriousness by passing this law criminalizing ecocide. It's also our collection. It's important for us to work towards protecting nature and the future generations of this country, Mr. Speaker. And further, I also support the call to make ecocide the fifth international crime internationally, because that way, then we can be making sure that countries will comply with very important legislations concerning ecocide. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank the maker of the statement and encourage him to continue the good work he's doing on the environment.
Honourable members, let's have in mind that the comment should not exceed 5 minutes. Yes, Honourable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also join in commending the minority chief whip for his consistency on this subject matter. Mr. Speaker, I think that his attitude towards the environment is something that we must all emulate as members of parliament, especially so when environmental issues are at the heart of even contemporary development issues, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the make of the statement brings our attention to a very major issue, ecocide. Mr. Speaker, we know as a fact that deliberate and wanton and mass destruction of human lives constitute, a crime international. And if life is not to be distinguished, I think plant and animal lives are equally important. That to the extent that persons would deliberately or negligently destroy the lives of animals and the lives of plants, to that extent, Mr. Speaker, I think that it is something that we need to look at as a country. That despite the fact that we have so many environmental laws, Mr. Speaker, the Ramsar Convention, which Ghana has actually been ratified, and we are actually having 6 Ramsar sites. Mr. Speaker, currently, those sites are endangered, despite the strict liability of this particular, offenses associated with the destruction of this particular natural and biological lives. So, Mr. Speaker, the time for us to give much more attention to issues of ecocide is now, and I think that the make of the statement is timely. Mr. Speaker, we are making this statement at a time that climate change is at the forerunner of global issues. Mr. Speaker, at the heart of ecocide, or at the heart of the destruction we cause to plants and animals, is the issue of global warming, is the issue of climate change. And Mr. Speaker, no country, no state is isolated from the reeling effect of climate change. And I think that we need to embrace this. Mr. Speaker, the moral imperativeness, the necessity of this particular legislation has been highlighted by the maker of the statement. And I want to add to the fact that flooding is much more common in our jurisdiction because of issues of destruction to plant and animal lives. We also have issues of emergence of new diseases. We also have issues about migratory birds. Recently, I raised an issue about the fact that migratory birds are distracting farm fields in the north. Mr. Speaker, all these are attendant effects of climate change and then destruction to plants and animal life. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to join the maker of the statement to call on the state, Ghana, and this parliament to, put at the heart of our deliberation and the heart of our legislation issues about environment and the need to protect the environment, especially criminalizing issues of destruction or negligent or deliberate destruction of plants and animal life. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes, minority leadership. It has come to leadership, 1-1.
Very well, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, let me, most importantly, eulogize the maker of the statement. Against the backdrop that a he has been more than persistent in dealing with issues of the environment. In fact, this morning I've had personally to engage him to further, as it were, recommend to him to do a PhD in environmental law, because he's been very well versed on environmental matters. And that is why it is critical for him to go beyond what he has today. Mr. Speaker, he brings to the fore ecocide. And that tells you that, in fact, it talks about the killing of the natural environment. That is the literal definition or meaning. Mr. Speaker, the natural environment is on the large scale of destruction. The massive destruction of our environment needs each and everyone's attention. Mr. Speaker, and the kind of destruction emanates from human activities, one of which is galamsey, illegal mining. Mr. Speaker, I read a piece recently about how the Bui Dam is at the verge of destruction because of illegal mining. And Mr. Speaker, I've been more worried at the fact that people who hitherto were prosecutors and persecutors of galamsey have all gone quiet, when the situation has actually even gone beyond the prevalence level as it then was. Mr. Speaker, another which is critical, and in fact, it's pari passu, it's side by side, it's deforestation. Because anybody who has to go into illegal mining will end up felling trees. And when the trees are all removed, the system, the ecosystem, the ecology, the green belt becomes very devastated. In environments that we would have said to ourselves that, oh, Accra is busy, it's hot, and I want to drive out of Accra and go somewhere and have some quiet realization. Mr. Speaker, you're unable to do so. Why? Because all the trees are being pulled down just because we want to make money to the neglect of very essential commodities that no human being can ever manufacture, which is air. Mr. Speaker, today, when we are talking about pollution, our lifestyles, almost everybody is drinking bottled water or plastic water. Mr. Speaker, people go and all they afford is sachet water, plastic or bottled water. Mr. Speaker, when they are done drinking, the indiscriminate disposal of this is creating wanton filth and squalor. And Mr. Speaker, if care is not taken, you can check. In my constituency, for instance, anytime it rains, there is a problem. Why? Because the drains are choked, all manner of desilting and whatever has not supported this, has not brought any solution to these problems. People are building in waterways and nobody is able to do anything. The powers that be, respectfully, have even gone to sleep because either they are beneficiaries or they are associates. Mr. Speaker, this statement is really critical because in these modern times, in recent times one was in the US, they could not even tell the inches of snow that was going to come up. When it started snowing, people just could not tell that, oh, we're going to have 22 inches of snow. And all as a result of the way we handle ourselves, our human activities, how we are damaging the ecosystem. And in Ghana, the major one, Mr. Speaker, which I'm very sure that you bear with me on that and you agree with me, is galamsey. Mr. Speaker, let the powers that be take serious look at it. Like my honorable chief whip, the hardworking chief whip said, there is the critical need for us to look at making laws to ensure that our environment and enforcing the laws. Because, Mr. Speaker, most of the laws are there. We have either refused to execute those or, in fact, ensure that those laws work, or people are beneficiaries of these laws and therefore they have gone to sleep. And we are suffering. We should think about the generation
Yes, so they are keeping the 5 minutes automatically.
Mr. Speaker, I'm okay. I was hoping that leadership will be giving more time, but if the time is taken, it's fine. I want to take this opportunity to thank you once again.
Speaker, may I yield to Dr. Winsome Manaba?
Yes, Doc, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to comment on this very important statement ably made by the Chief Whip of the minority side. I think I will join everybody to at least commend him for his consistency when it comes to environment. Yes, ecocide is detrimental to us. We've heard of the definition, and we are all alarmed. It is to protect current generation and future generations. If you want to listen to what other members commented about it, we're all speaking about how we are depleting the forest, which is far away. We are talking about contaminating of our water bodies, which is dangerous to our health. And as a health worker, I have looked around our big cities, and I've seen that besides complaining about the forest being depleted and waters being contaminated, within our own environment that we have created to live ourselves in our big cities, we are actually practicing ecocide. We have laws in our district assemblies to prevent that from taking place. But we are failing to implement laws that will prevent us from being extinct, from being polluted, and developing diseases that would harm us and lead us to extinction. I want to talk about the work of the assemblies and in the EPA and ensuring that our cities are not turned into what we call methane production industries. If you watch Ghana, all our big cities, we are gradually practicing ecocide. Rubber bags being thrown everywhere. You go to the field site where they dump rubbish, and it is stacked with rubbish. Even in farms, you go and rubbish are everywhere. Polythene is everywhere, preventing the ground to re-exchange gases. We are emitting more methane in our big cities simply because we are not implementing environmental laws. We are not executing what we are supposed to do to prevent this from happening. So I would say that there are low-hanging fruits, not only the forest being depleted, not only the waters being contaminated, but the cities themselves, where we have wetlands. We have encroached on all the wetlands. The few forest reserves we have inside the cities to provide oxygen and pure air for us to breathe. We are cutting the trees down and building mansions, encroaching on them. The wetlands where we are supposed to have, different species to live harmoniously with us. We are destroying all the wetlands, and now what we see in our big cities in Ghana now is the production of methane, which is very detrimental to our health, simply because no one is punishing the other. The laws are not working. So even if we sign up to this law, just like Singapore is doing, you can't chew a gum, you can't hold a rubber bag. Just like Rwanda is doing, you can't have a polythene bag in Rwanda, simply because they know the devastating effect of throwing garbage everywhere. If we want to implement it in Ghana, it will be a problem. This is where I think the low-hanging fruits must be handled first. Then we can polish up this international fever that is going around now in 11 countries, that ecocide should be a crime to humanity, and that it should be punishable by law, by international laws. If this is actually realized, and the whole world accept that ecocide is punishable by law, I think even wars in the world will change the methods of fighting our wars. We see today, oil refineries are being blown out, which is causing chemicals all around the world. We've seen how water plants in countries like Iran, like in Israel, are being blown up, which is destroying ecosystems. I think I really support the call by the leader that we should make ecocide a crime against humanity, so that wars fought around the world, no one will attempt to blast an oil refinery, because today, Iran and Israel, they are suffering the consequences. I'm not only talking for Ghana. We have to be patriotic and we have to be human beings, because that alone is causing fumes across, and people will start developing diseases as a result of those chemical reactions that are taking place. To this end, I commend the maker of the statement and call for Ghana to also consider ecocide as a law for us to establish to prevent the destruction of the small ecosystem that we have. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
That's the end of comment to that statement ably made by the minority chief whip. We now move to statement numbered C, standing in the name of Honorable Dr. Abednego Lamajin Bandim. You have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to make this statement on data protection. Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the privilege to deliver this vital statement in commemoration of Data Protection Week, which was last week, of which, Mr. Speaker, yourself, you were invited to partake, and the second Deputy Speaker ably represented you and made statement on your behalf. Mr. Speaker, this is a pivotal occasion. It is indicated, or it is dedicated to elevating national awareness, advancing fundamental policy rights, the rigorously strengthening institutional compliance in an era where digital information drives sovereign governance and economic development. Our responsibility is clear. Safeguarding the personal data our citizens has never been more urgent. The House is the ultimate embodiment of democratic accountability. We recognize that the trust reposed in us by the Ghanaian citizens extends beyond legislation and oversight. It demands the absolute uncompromising protection of their digital identity. In furtherance of this mandate, the Data Protection Commission, alongside the Ghana Association of Privacy Professionals, has adopted a compelling theme, which is your data, your identity, building trust in Ghana's digital future. This will anchor a comprehensive month-long series of national celebrations. Mr. Speaker, this initiative reaffirms our collective commitment to the Data Protection Act of 2012. The principles of Act 843 are unequivocal. Personal data must be processed lawfully, fairly, and transparently. It must be collected exclusively for specific, legitimate purposes. It must remain accurate, secure, and retained strictly within statutory limits. Compliance is not merely a bureaucratic duty, it is a moral imperative. It underscores our profound respect for the digital autonomy and freedoms of every Ghanaian. We must acknowledge a hard truth about our interconnected digital ecosystem. Catastrophic data breaches are no longer just technical failures. The most severe vulnerabilities are human and behavioral. They stem from weak cybersecurity practice, sophisticated phishing attacks, and the careless handling of official information. They also arise from exposing personal data on platforms like Facebook, X, TikTok, and WhatsApp. These platforms are vulnerable and for public engagement, yet they remain highly porous channels. Sensitive information can be unintentionally disclosed, irregularly manipulated, or maliciously exploited. Mr. Speaker, the sophistication of cyber threats is escalating. Synthetic identity theft, digital impersonation, and unauthorized data harvesting demand uncompromising vigilance from all of us. The relentless work of our regulatory bodies highlights an absolute necessity. We need continuous education, responsible digital conduct, and strict adherence to security protocols. Data protection is not a technological dilemma we can simply outsource to IT department. It is a fundamental human responsibility. It requires discipline and accountability at every echelon of institutional activities. Mr. Speaker, the late Dr. Kofi Annan proudly observed that knowledge is power, information is liberating, education is the premise of progress in every society, in every family. This timeless wisdom reminds us of a critical balance. The digital flow of information empowers our institutions and our citizens, but it must be managed with utmost responsibility. We must ensure its power serves the public good rather than undermining our national security and compromising individual privacy. Right Honorable Speaker, Parliament handles vast quantities of highly sensitive information daily. We process restricted administrative records, citizen petitions, confidential committee documents, and witness testimonies. The very nature of our work demands the highest echelon of data privacy protection. It is incumbent upon us to guarantee our data architecture are fortified. We must protect them against unauthorized access, misuse, or catastrophic loss. Strengthening our internal system is essential in legal compliance. More importantly, it is vital for preserving unwavering public confidence in the integrity of this House. Mr. Speaker, in October 2025, the Select Committee on Information and Communication conducted a comprehensive working visit to the Data Protection Commission. The committee was thoroughly briefed on the Commission's achievements, its ongoing project, and its present operational challenges. We witnessed firsthand the hurdle they face in policing our data economy. Mr. Speaker, the Commission is rapidly scaling up punitive measures against non-compliance under their law, Section 56. These include severe fines and potential imprisonment. Mr. Speaker, I conclude with a charge calling on all honorable members and staff of Parliament to actively engage in the activities plan for the critical initiative. Integrate core data protection principles into our daily workforce. Let us unequivocally demand that the Parliament of Ghana lead, for example. We must safeguard the personal information of our constituents. We must uphold the highest standards of confidentiality, integrity, responsibility in all that we do. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Patrick Obama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make some few comments on the statement ably made by my colleague from Bunkrugu. Mr. Speaker, Act 843 was passed in 2012, and I think it's about time that with the developments in the world and the coming into force of social media, which has taken over the traditional media space, ought to undergo some reforms and to bring the art in conformity with the global trend. Mr. Speaker, data has been collected from us by the National Health Insurance Authority the Driver's Licensing Authority, National Identification Authority, the National Communications Authority, Birth and Death Registry, and other agencies of state, Mr. Speaker. Data, we say, is gold. And if you read Section 96 of the Act, the definition of data has been expanded. And with your kind permission, I'll just read a couple for you to appreciate what we are talking about, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, data means information under Section 96, the interpretation section, means information which A, is processed by means of equipment operating automatically in response to instructions given for that purpose. B, is recorded with the intention that it should be processed by means of such equipment, and so on and so forth. Mr. Speaker, there are sanctions regimes attached to the Act, which also enjoins the Minister of Communication to come to the House with some regulations to see to the implementation of this Act. Mr. Speaker, anyone who violates the use of someone's data or without going through the right processes is required to pay about 60,000 Ghana cedis or face a sentence of no less than 10 years or both. Mr. Speaker, there are legislations and laws that governs data protection. But in our country, you realize that people just abuse people's data, use them anyhow without any sanctions or enforcement. And that requires the law enforcement agents to be trained professionally, because you have data of kids, members of parliament, chiefs, and very prominent people and other members of society being used and abused for financial purposes without recourse to the Enabling Act. And it's a call in the right direction by the maker of the statement for us to appreciate the need for data protection and also enforce the cybersecurity laws of this country to protect our image and our kids going forward. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm enjoying leadership here, Mr. Speaker. Available leader. Let me commend the maker of the statement for bringing it to fore a very important subject matter, which has to do with data protection, Mr. Speaker. We all know that data is a very critical need that we would need for the development of our countries. It is important for planning, it is important for economic development, it is important for growth. So it becomes very important that we cannot do without data, Mr. Speaker. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the technology today has made data to be very vulnerable to distraction. A lot of people now can infiltrate, because of technology, into people's data. And so you and I, Mr. Speaker, remain naked because of the technology you have today. And if we don't take steps to ensure that we protect data, no one is safe. If you watch the war that is happening in the Middle East, you would see that it is because of the data countries have of other countries. That is why they are able to target them, set and target 2,000 miles away. You sit in your room, somebody can target because of your data. The fellow has been able to infiltrate and track you. So it is important that we pay attention to that of the data, Mr. Speaker. In this country, a lot of people don't have understanding of how it works. And so for that matter, you see people just giving themselves out and making it difficult, making it easier for people to go through their data. And so in recent times, you'd find people just going about, you find people, their very bad side of their bodies being leaked in the social media. It's because of the fact that they don't understand how it works, Mr. Speaker. So I think that we need to do a lot of sensitization. Days like this, it is important we take advantage and sensitize people to understand how data works today. So that when you are holding your phone, you know how to manage your data. Even those who are supposed to gather the data, collect the data, they know what they are supposed to be doing. Because if you are put to gather data, Mr. Speaker, you are supposed to ensure that you uphold to truthfulness. You are supposed to ensure that you uphold to confidentiality. You are supposed to ensure that you kind of protect the identity of the data you are collecting. So people don't know this. So if we take steps to ensure that we sensitize the public on days like this, for people to understand the need to protect data, I think that will be helpful, Mr. Speaker. Just to wrap up, Mr. Speaker, the laws that we have in this country has adequately addressed that of data protection. We have enough laws. Some of them have been mentioned by my senior colleague over there. He has enumerated a number of laws. But how to enforce this is the problem. So I want to strongly recommend that those who are responsible in enforcing that, we deal with people who are found to be to breach these regulations. We ensure that they are properly handled, and I'm sure it will serve as a deterrent to those who probably have the intention of going to that. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, minority.
Speaker, I will yield to Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Yes, Dr. Kabiru, you have the floor. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will want to commend the chairman of my committee for that statement. And let me add that, Mr. Speaker, we participated in the Data Protection Conference, and the presentation and discussion brought to the fore and the need for us to look at the Data Protection Act, and that Honorable Patrick Boama has alluded to. It was one of the cardinal outcomes of that particular conference, the need for us to review, re-examine the current legislative framework guiding the protection of data. Mr. Speaker, but since 2012, and following the enactment of the Data Protection Act, Parliament has been consistent in every single legislation we pass in this particular this particular house. We reflect adequately the need for data protection. And I would want to commend the House of Parliament for that consistency, that we made the law, and in fidelity to that law and in being consistent with the dictates of that law, we provide for every single subsequent act or law we are making in this House the need for adequate safeguard. Mr. Speaker, the Data Protection Act provides for protection by any person or any institution that is responsible for the collection and processing of data to provide some safeguards. And that is why within the Act there are requirements for data controllers to be registered with the Data Protection Commission. Mr. Speaker, this again, I want to note that Parliament is one of the few institutions that have adequately regularized and made same the registration of our data system by making sure that our data, as a data controller, we register with the Data Protection Commission. Mr. Speaker, the issues about data protection are so serious. They are serious because every now and then you go to social media, you see the display without any sense of hiding the identity of people or valuable and vital information of persons. People splash this information of individuals, including politicians, in the public space. Mr. Speaker, I think this is not what the law actually is envisioning. The law actually wanted to protect us against free flow of personal information in a manner that is not prescribed by law. And to see people still in the habit of exploiting and mining personal data of persons and putting same in the media or putting same in public spaces without, the requirement of the law, Mr. Speaker, I think it is something that seriously we need to do. But the problem is that institutions, almost every single institution in Ghana is actually processing or collecting data of one way or the other. A data of one sort or another is going to be processed or collected, even if they are data of your employees, Mr. Speaker, they still constitute part of the data of the person. And I think that if we do not do something about this, a time will come that people will not feel safe about providing their data to institution or data persons responsible for the collection of this data. Mr. Speaker, the last thing I want to draw your attention to on this particular subject is the need for us, which has actually been overflow, that contingent to this is also the right of the person, how am I going to put it? Mr. Speaker, the right of the person to know that my information is actually safe. There is responsibility on the data protection. Mr. Speaker, on these people, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity.
Honourable members, we have come to an end of that vital statement on data protection. Indulge me to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Arnold Kavapro. He is the Acting Executive Director of Data Protection Agency. We have Abigail Yebua, Head of Administration, Daniel Amano, HR Manager, Kweku Ajay Labi, Head of Accounts, and staff of Data Protection Agency. On your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit to Parliament. We then move to the next statement standing in the name of Honorable Felicia Ajay, Member of Parliament for Kintampo South. You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make a statement on a vital issue at the heart of our democracy. Around the world, many successful democracies use proportional representation as a fairer way to convert votes into seats, and various stakeholders have been examining gender equity and seeking ways to build a better, more inclusive system in which every citizen's voice is valued. Under this system, if a political party wins 30% of national votes, it receives about 30% of the seats in Parliament. This ensures that every vote counts and that even smaller parties and minority groups are represented. Countries such as South Africa, Namibia, Rwanda, and Senegal have adopted proportional representation to strengthen democracy and inclusion. Mr. Speaker, proportional representation fosters gender inclusion. In Rwanda, for instance, the proportional system has allowed women to hold over 60% of parliamentary seats, making it one of the most gender-balanced legislatures in the world. Mr. Speaker, Ghana currently using the first-past-the-post system, where the candidates with the most votes in the constituencies win. Why simple? It often leaves many votes uncounted and reduces opportunities for women and minority groups. As a result, our parliament does not fully reflect the diversity of our population. Mr. Speaker, the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024 at 1121 was a bold step towards encouraging women participation However, laws alone cannot achieve equity if the electoral system does not support inclusion. One proven approach is the use of gender balance or the zebra list, which required parties to alternate between the male and female candidates when seats are allocated. This guarantees fairness by design, not by chance. Mr. Speaker, Ghana could adopt a hybrid model, such as those in Germany and New Zealand, where some members are elected from constituencies and others from parties less based on the population of the national votes. This preserves a local representation while enhancing fairness and inclusivity. Mr. Speaker, gender equity is both justice and good governance. The Affirmative Action Act has laid a strong foundation. Proportional representation with gender balanced list could build upon it to create a truly inclusive and representative parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable members, that's a statement ably made by Honourable Felicia J. on gender equity in governance. The floor is now open for comment. Yes, Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I commend the maker of the statement highly for this gender statement concerning gender and representation. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the global percentage on gender representation in Parliament, we have just about 26.1%. And when you come to Ghana, we have about 14% of women representation in Parliament, which is not encouraging. So I think it's high time our political parties make efforts to not to just say, yes, we need women in Parliament or we need women representations, but there should be some political and party enforcement of the representation of women. We will be very happy as women if our seats are protected by political parties, making an effort that wherever a woman is, at least for your first or second term in Parliament, nobody should contest you. So that will be a form of encouragement, but we'll be guided with maybe our activities in Parliament and all that will be taken into consideration. By so doing, more women will be encouraged to work harder in Parliament because they know that if you don't perform well, maybe you will not be given that opportunity of nobody contesting you. I think that will encourage a lot of women to take up to be more courageous, to be more courageous and also have the confidence to contest. Mr. Speaker, this is a time for women to take up leadership positions, and then I think the time is ripe for us to rise up to the occasion and say that it's time for women to take political positions, not only in Parliament or not only representing the representation in Parliament, but